This is a really crowded summer weekend day at home in Hood River, Oregon. That's my friend David. Hi, David. You can see just how busy it was this day in this shot. I've got a bunch of shots like this in this video. I accidentally bumped my camera downward here, which is annoying to look at, but I kept a couple of these shots through a tack and jibe because they're the only ones where you can see my footwork at all. Otherwise, I just used footage with the camera pointing straight. The wind was about 20 knots, gusting into the low to mid-20s, but the gusts weren't bad. It was pretty steady as gorge wind goes. I'm riding my Mike's Lab Bullet 3 foil on a 9-meter Fly Surfer Sonic 3. My main goal for this day was to do some tack and jibe practice, mostly tack practice. My jibes are getting pretty decent, but I still mess up tacks. I wasn't aiming to go particularly fast or anything, just clean technique in both directions. It was hard to go really fast downwind anyway with so many people on the water. I like to go way upwind past the hatchery. Here's a jibe up there, and you can see this far up, the crowd is mostly gone. Nobody wants to come all the way up here so you can get a bit of space to yourself. You can see how slow I'm going downwind here to get past the windsurfer traffic jam at the hatchery. These guys all like to stay in a lane about 100 yards wide. I always race sailboats on the water. I know, they're not racing, and it's not a fair matchup, but I can't help it. It's fun to be faster and higher than everyone. This little Santana 22 isn't much of a competitor. After passing the boat, I've got to head back upwind through Windsurfer Alley. I actually do this on starboard tack on purpose just because the traffic is so dense. We have these giant barges on the river, and they go right through the wind sports area, and everyone needs to keep clear. I couldn't decide if I wanted to head downwind in front of this one or behind it, but it's slower than I am, so I figured I'd run out ahead of it and beat it back to the beach. I'm all the way upwind here by the barge, so I've got one long downwind leg back to the beach. Like I said, I'm just practicing maneuvers, not aiming for max speed, especially with all the traffic on the river, and you really don't want to blow a jibe in front of the barge. Mostly I'm just trying to find an open lane between everyone. People are almost never paying attention to what's going on upwind of them, so if you want to come downwind at speed, you have to assume that nobody's looking and anyone might turn right in front of you at any moment. This spot upwind of the White Salmon Bridge always has flat waves and light wind, so it's never crowded, and is a good place to find space to jibe, but it's also a good place to fall in the light wind. This last run back to the beach is always a fun spot to try and hit top speeds. The wind angle works great and you get flat water. You just have to be careful for traffic, especially on days like this. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the quick tour of Hood River.